So, Shreyas, welcome to the Great Talks.
Hey
I'm
Abhishek, thank you so much for having me here.
I'm so curious to know about your journey, man. Like from starting from college campus to a startup journey.
Right, I think that has been the most successful playbook so far. That the successful founder comes out of college and they start up something and then it goes crazy. That is the standard success template that has been taught and published everywhere. But that is the most difficult and the failure rate of starting up from college and then going on to having a very successful business is very very low,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is almost that 8 to 9 startups out of 10 fail, usually
Yeah, yeah.
when you make it out of college,
Mm.
right? But however, even knowing this, uh, and knowing that कॉलेज में मेरा कुछ हो नहीं पा रहा है. So I started out from college, and the reason for that was, there was always something in me that told me that if this is being told to you, or don't do that, do something exactly opposite. Just like how kids behave, right? You tell them do this and they'll do exactly opposite or something of different interest. So that has been me throughout. And yeah, so going by the school textbook or college textbook was never my thing. And the best thing to do or try out in business term was digital marketing, right? I had a lot of interest in the social media world since a very long time, right? And so to monetize this, I started freelancing. Back in time, there were a lot of opportunities for it, right? In social media management, creating posts. Things were very simple back then. The formats were very simple. Getting traction was very simple, and so that is how I got my few clients I dabbled with. So there was always an hesitation from client side. This person is very new, very young. What probably he'll do about it, which is true. I had no experience, but I told them transparently that this is my experience and that this is how I can deliver. And they were comfortable about it because I wasn't charging much to them anyways. That wasn't the objective, to earn money, but yeah, the objective was to experience it. So when I started freelancing, then I realized that the usual complaint used to be that we have invested this many into ads, or this many posts have been sent out. However, we are not able to get that traction. Probably in ads manager, they are able to see that leads have come in, but there is very low conversion, right? So this gap usually came from the fact that leads were coming in, but the businesses were not responding to that. They're probably through phone calls or WhatsApp messages. They weren't responding. The leads used to get lost in their inbox, right? So the major gap we saw here is that communication was a very big problem for businesses, right? So during that same time, Meta had introduced their Messenger APIs and WhatsApp APIs, for which allowed developers to automate it. So I thought that this is something uh, which is the problem is right in front of you, and something needs to be done about it. So we dabbled around the Messenger APIs and WhatsApp APIs, and then started automation in those channels. So the automation back then was very simple, very very simple. That the first thing that we did was to create an inbox so that you don't lose your leads. And we created a very simple inbox. We connected Facebook Messenger and Instagram first, and later came in WhatsApp. So now the business had and bird's eye view of what's going on, right? and then we took it a step ahead by automating it, right? So uh, the concept of AI back then was very rule based, right? Very basic. It was based on just logics. That if this happens, then this should happen. If this happens, that is what AI was back then. And so relations AI, that is how relations AI came into, was incorporated. And it was pre-GPT era, when relations AI was launched. And since then, a lot of things have changed in the AI landscape. We began from rule-based, now came the Gen AI, AI agents and agentic AI. So I have seen this from, very basic low level AI to what it is today, right? The AI that it is today is very impressive, and the progress that we have seen in last 5 years has been tremendous. Right? Every day is a new surprise. Right? So yeah, that has been, how relations AI started and how I got into the space. Right? So also the one thing that I realized is, uh, many people ask me, back then these Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp were different channels as to the ownership of it, right? And then it was acquired by Meta. All the three platforms were acquired by Meta. So back then it was like, if at all we have to create a business, it shouldn't rely highly on some other entity, right? For example, if Meta collapses, it's too used to get collapsed. But yeah, if in case, right, then what about my business? Does my business collapse as well? However, the thing with communication is that communication has always existed. That we started with mails, internet पे mail सब है. The mail से we come to messaging, and the landscape today. So the forms of communications have changed. However, communication will always be there. So now, from just the Meta channels, we have more than 10 channels today. So we are a platform that is channel agnostic, right? Even if the form of communication changes tomorrow, our platform is still capable of managing it. Yeah. So that has been it.
Perfect, man. So I wanna ask a question to you. Why you have two offices, like in one in Delhi and one in Mumbai?
Okay. So uh, I have you know when you want to grow, you need to have presence, and it the presence has to be localized, right? In communications also, the communication has to be personalized, and the business has to be localized. How much ever global you want to go, you need to have your presence uh, in different areas or your target geographies, right? So getting out of Mumbai, the first city that I thought should be, should have a second office is Delhi. And after, I mean, yeah, I went to Bangalore
Wow.
and had a look at the landscape in Bangalore. Then also checked out Chennai, then Hyderabad. So I think the best place when it comes to the infrastructure, the talent, and the kind of fund it requires. Uh, Delhi turned out to be a good option for us. Since we are bootstrapped, finance heavily, what we say, influences our decisions.
So yeah, that's my personal question, not in our question sheet. So I'm just curious
Yeah,
to ask why you have in one in Delhi and one in Bombay. So that's why I ask.
yeah, it's about personalization and localization.
Got it. You are targeting Indians businesses, right? More.
Yes, yes.
What
So there are more
internal?
than 500 million WhatsApp users in India itself, which is a very, very big opportunity. Right? And the number of SMBs itself is so huge here. The maximum, GDP of India is driven by the small and medium businesses. And every business wants to reach out to their customer, and every customers want to comfortably talk to their business. Right? So communication is something that everybody and every entity needs to have in place. And India is a big market. It's a huge market. And India is just one. India and WhatsApp is just one of the channels that we have on our platform. Right? US is usually Instagram and Messenger.
Yeah.
WhatsApp is big in Brazil also.
Mm-hmm.
So platform wise, it is independent of geography. We are able to serve all kind of geographies. How
Perfect.
Remains our focus uh, since a very long time and will continue to be.
Perfect. Like how it works, your relation AI and all.
Okay, so the platform is drag and drop, self-serve, and the if you have to use our platform, it will take you hardly 5 to 10 minutes to set it up. And not talking just about the rule-based automation, which is basically logic-based that I mentioned earlier. Even the AI agents can be set up in a jiffy. It's quite fast, right? So at this point where originally started from inbox, today we have a huge collection of analytics. We have the omnichannel inbox. We have the AI center, which has multiple AI agents that talk to each other and then make a decision and then respond to the user. Then for the businesses who do not want to have AI agents, right? We also have drag and drop flow builder. And then we have the contact management system, we have ticket management system, opportunity management system, and yeah.
So basically, you.
So our platform is, my my aim with the platform is such that it should be usable not just by the tech people, but also by the marketing people, by the sales department or the creatives department. Uh, yeah, so it has to be friendly for every department in the business. That's my aim. Even though the technology keep on growing and getting complex and complex, our task at Relation AI is to translate into something very simple that can be useful to the businesses or anybody in the business, be it small or an enterprise.
Perfect. So basically, you are running a voice agent, like or voice agent or a chatbot for businesses.
Correct. So it is basically conversational AI for businesses, wherein the customers of the business can send a query, or and the AI should be able to make a decision, understand, make a decision, and then respond to the user. Now this could be in English, Hindi, Marathi, or any of the vernacular language. That language should not be a barrier today for the user.
Perfect, man.
So our platform will connect with the backend servers of the business, and it can pull out information from the servers about the user, so that it has a context of what's going on, who the user is, if it's an existing customer, if it's a new customer, what are products they have bought from you, and what has been the history. So that whole data is pulled in from the business side, and now the AI has the whole context of what's happening. Now, if the user is approaching on say WhatsApp, uh, the same AI will work on WhatsApp as well as on Instagram and all the other 10 channels that we have. Now, what's important here is that these channels are, interoperable. That is, if a lead comes on to Instagram and says that I'm interested in this product, then the automation will ask on Instagram that okay, what is your email ID or phone number? I'll send you the catalog, right, or a purchase link. And then immediately on WhatsApp, the user will receive the product details or the catalog. And from there itself, now since WhatsApp is the first thing that you open up when you open your eyes in the morning, right? That is the most used platform. So naturally, post that, the user will start conversation on WhatsApp itself. That hey, what is this product price, or if there is any discount available, or if this can be delivered in that specific pin code. So these are all in the back end. The APIs are running, pulling the information, and on the front, that is to the user, the communication is instant. Right, this eliminates the need to have an AI agent. Sorry, the a support agent. Right, usually the experience is that you call up a customer service, they'll keep you on hold, they'll keep you on queue for 5 minutes, for 15 minutes, for half an hour, and then an agent will say कि आपका नाम क्या है, what is your name, what is your bank account number, then they'll do a KYC, right, and then they'll know कि oh okay, this is the person who's calling, and then you ask them that I have lost my credit card, what do I do? Then they'll put you on hold again, that okay, let me search through my documentation, what requires to be done, right? So the user is in panic on one hand because that person has lost the credit card, and then the other hand there's the business who is very busy, who is taking a lot of time to understand who you are, right? So this issue is eliminated when you introduce an AI, the context of an AI, right, where the communication is fast. It can manage a lot of queries uh, simultaneously, right? So now this AI is not just solving the problem, but it is also, we take it a notch up, that it is also emotional to a certain point, right? It 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 first will acknowledge what's going on. It will calm you down in whatever way possible, and then it also immediately give you a solution, right? Because the AI is aware. The platform has all the details of the user as soon as the user got connected. I pulled in the information, and now it is as soon as I mean, from compliance point of view for banks, AI will again do an KYC how a human would do, but this is saving the time of the human, right? And the human agent is taking care of something more complex that AI is not supposed to answer or is not able to answer. So
Perfect.
there's time saving here.
Hmm.
The user gets the experience it wants. The business is able to service customer. So it's a win on all the fronts.
Perfect. So you have any app or a website so where from people connect to your retail relation? Yeah.
Yes. So our website is RelationsAI.com,
Mm-hmm.
where the user, a business can sign up,
Mm-hmm.
go through the onboarding journey, and then create the automation themselves.
So you have self-hosted, like you don't use any third-party platform like Zipper and Make.com or N8N, right?
No,
So where you build
our
it?
operations are independent of N8N, or so basically for us those platforms are basically integrations, right? So people can connect our platform as a whole with the with any other third party. Right? For example, uh, our architecture is not 100% or not at all dependent on these NA10s or whatever uh, integration platforms you have. It's a whole platform, self-hosted, uh, and it's basically. So I'm not a technical founder, right? However, it's self-serve, self-hosted platform, and we have a lot of integrations, not just on the channel wise, but also on the apps front. We have more than 50 integrations into our platform. Yeah.
Perfect. What internal risk framework help you choosing entrepreneurship over a degree-backed career path?
Hmm. This was an interesting question some time back, but now it is very clear that uh, you have to be a creator, right? You have to create something useful for other businesses, other individuals, or wherever you are employed at, right? So uh, this question was a very good hot topic back in time, 4 5 years back, but now it is more of a creator led economy, right? So you have to have something of your own to be presented, right? So the risk is higher on the side wherein you are going through the normal uh, studying something by the textbook, giving exams, you get your GPA, you wait for the interviews, you crack the interviews, and then you get employed, and then and the employer is assigning you tasks, you're simply doing that, right? Now the expectations of employers have also changed. You have to be very proactive. So following the normal path today has higher risk than the traditional paths have more higher risk today. So it has to be always you have to be on your toes, dabbling different things, trying to find your interest and clinging onto it.
Perfect, man. How did you evaluate long-term leverage versus short-term security as such a young age?
Now the knowledge itself is the keyword here. When you're young, there are zero risk, right? Nobody is dependent on you. Uh, you are the only person who's dependent on everything. So you have no risk, right? You have your cushions, you have your parents, you have your friends. So that cushion is very important when you want to try out new things. And I think at starting young, you get that cushion to experiment without even having to care about your responsibilities, how much you are earning, how much you know, you know. So everybody understands that you are a young fellow. By default, you have very less experience, so they are also very easy on you. That okay, they're open to share knowledge with you, and you are also very comfortable asking very uncomfortable questions, right? So starting young gives you a lot of leverage because you are very shameless when you are young. You'll try 100 things without thinking of what somebody will say or what impact it will have on the responsibilities that you have. So the college time is the best time to explore your interest, and you have to be very adamant on the things you love or the things you like and want to work on. So that will give you a good foundation or head start to start your own thing or provide the best to your employers. So yeah, the thing here is that now the entry barrier to do anything is so low. Anybody from any background can start to learn new things, right? There is no, you don't have to anymore follow a very traditional academic curriculum that this needs to be done first, then that, and then that, and then that, right? If you want to gain expertise in only certain aspect of a business or of a product or whatever you want to do, You can simply, you know, go on the internet. You have AIs who can teach you. There are a lot of YouTube creators that are, giving away knowledge for free. So the knowledge is in abundance. It's only your curiosity that needs to be in place. Everything is in abundance, freely available. You need curiosity and you need time. That's it.
Perfect, man. What made you confident this was the real company, not just an college experiment?
Yeah, good one. So, in college, there are a lot of projects going on, right? Your college will assign you a project. You need to work on it. The thing is that what I've noticed is most of the student take it as a curriculum, right? They take it as an assignment that you need to complete this and submit it. That's it. Your mind is working towards the submission. That's it. That's the end of the chapter, right? Well, it's a lot of mechanical. You're not putting your mind into it. You're not putting your heart into it. But these projects have a huge, what we say, potential to become a business. Lot of projects in colleges, if taken out of college, can become a very successful business, right? So the first thing is that you have to take that thing out of your college boundaries, take it into the market, talk to people, talk to businesses, talk to the elders in the family, who can tell you that this is what's going on in the market, this is what's going on in the industry, and they'll give you the feedbacks, right? So first thing is to take it out of your college boundary, talk to people, and once you talk to the people, you get the confidence that okay, at least they're talking about it, they are liking the idea about it. So probably we can start executing it, right? Now people, I mean the students get to this level as well. A lot people come to this understanding that okay, we can launch the product. However, they spend a lot of time in the preparation itself, right? They spend a lot of time writing down things, putting it on the paper, right? Business doesn't happen on the paper. It will stay on the paper if you keep doing that. It happens when you go out and put your product out there where the business and the real users are actually using it,
True.
right? So you have to put it out there, take it out of first thing is take it out of your college boundary. Second thing is take it away from your paper life, put it in the market. The market will start giving you feedback. The market sounds very big word here, uh, but basically give it to the people out there who want to use it. Small businesses. Somebody will be there. You have to identify your ICP, your ideal customer profile. That probably this is the person who might need it. Give it to them, then start giving you feedback, right? You don't have to think much about how much they'll pay or something like that. And then today, a lot of things are available for free. A lot of resources are available for free, right? So you get the knowledge for free. You have the resources available for free. You don't even need to chase a technical person to build the product anywhere on the internet. You have Claude Code doing that for you. You have AI doing it for you, right? You have to start very small. You don't need to have a very fancy product, right? The UI doesn't have to be very great, and it has just have to be functional, right? So now once you put the product, you get the feedback, and then you start improving it, right? And then once you improve, you can ask the same business to refer you more businesses, right? And that is how your project, your college project becomes a business, right? And then depending on the feedback you get, you keep on iterating the product and you start scaling up, right? And most students think that there is no money. There's no time. Time is very abundant. Time is never a problem for students. And then comes the money part. Today there are a lot of incubators or accelerators or the companies whose product you need to build on the, say, AWS, if you have to talk about, or Google we have to talk about. So they are providing a lot of credits, you know, which you might get tired of getting it exhausted, but it will not exhaust, at least in the initial level. So use those credits, right? There are research credits, there are startup credits, and these companies are happy to give it away to you. So utilize that. So finance is again not a problem. I think the barrier that most students face is, walking out and putting the product to use or finding users. You know, so once that chasm is crossed, once you have your first business ready, second business ready, third client ready, fourth client ready, you would start to understand the dynamics of the market, and ultimately it becomes a business. So that will give you the feedbacks. Basically, gives you the confidence to keep on moving. Right? It's uh, the urge to keep on listening to good feedbacks, and you know the first you won't get positive feedback always. However, the kick you will get is solving those problems. That a problem came to you, you got it resolved in 24 hours. You get the kick. You push the update. The client is happy. He'll appreciate, and you're good to go on to the next one.
Perfect, man. How do young founders differentiate it between emotional excitement and real opportunities?
Okay, so it is very simple. The difference between a hobby and a business is that business will give you money, and hobbies will only give you pleasure, right? Any business that doesn't make you money is basically a hobby, right? So that is how you define what your hobby is, and if it is an hobby or if it's a business, right? And talking about if it is just a phase or just an emotion, it will fade away, right? Even before you make money, right? And building a business is a very, 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 very long process, right? You have to be there for years and years. You have to be uh, very. You should know this, that next 2 3 years are going to be very tough. You should be comfortable facing a lot of uncertainties. You should be comfortable not getting paid and still have the same passion, serving your customers, making your product better and better every day, right? So you don't have to think much if it is an emotion or a business. If it's an emotion, it will tell you itself in within 2 3 weeks that your focus has shifted, and this is done. You move on. You start thinking about other stuff. So yeah.
Perfect, man. What early signals told you this problem was worth building as a company around?
Uh, so the problem was right in front of our eyes, right? And this problem was of every other business, right? So automating communication was important, right? And this was validated from all the fronts, right? Me as a freelancer in social media, understanding that this problem exists at a very small level, right? I was a student with no experience managing very small businesses, right? So that was validated right there. And now when a company like Meta is releasing their APIs to enable to or to empower developers to automate it, that is another big signal, right? That this is happening across the world for all the businesses. So, the timing here was, uh, you know, in sync with what I thought and what the real problem was. So that gave the confidence that, yeah, this is it, and this problem has to be fixed, and we need to build a company around this.
Perfect, man. How did being in a college shape your speed of learning compared to traditional founders?
Uh, so again, since whenever you are in college, you have a lot of time in your hand, a lot of freedom, and you have literally no responsibility. So that accelerates your learning process, because that's the only thing that you have to do, right? Just learn, learn, learn. Understand what's going on, build, and again learn and fix it and keep on moving, right? So the speed and trajectory is very high because it is fueled by an curiosity and your passion towards that cause, right? There is no other factor that is uh, pushing you to do it. It's the fire within you that's keeping the ball rolling. However, when we talk about somebody who has a responsibility, that particular person has to take care of the responsibilities, take care of the family, the finance, and these become your default, right? In college, the only thing you have to take care is, I don't know if there is anything that needs to be taken care of during your college. Probably your grades, probably that you just have to make it more GPA that will give you a good opportunities in the future. That is the only thing that you have to take. However, when with age you have to take care of a lot of things, right? So that becomes your primary things. That only one, two, three, four is done. Then probably you find some time to learn, to execute, to take the risk. Right? So that risk taking capacity drastically reduces once you have once you have family responsibilities, and once you have to feed yourself, right? So yeah, the college will give you a lot of leverage. Plus, you don't have to, you just have to ask in your college that I need this, I need your support to execute this. And they'll happily, uh, give you what you want, right? You have your friends who you can take help of in whatever you're trying to build. Then you have college, say, committees or communities or small groups which are aligned to your interests. They'll happily help you out, right? Then there's so many government schemes for college students who want to start up. Right, we have incubation centers or accelerator programs. So you have everything ready for you. The infrastructure is great today. So that gives you a lot of leverage. However, once you are a grown up, you barely have any support when we talk about the infrastructure support. Yeah.
Got
So
it.
that makes a lot of difference.
What psychology advantage does a campus founder have over a corporate founders?
Hmm. Uh, I have never been in corporate, right? So I am not the right person to analyze or comment on how corporate psychologies are. However, talking about student psychology, uh, it's more raw, right? When you start up from your college itself, it's very raw. You are not groomed by the corporates in the manner of how processes work. There is advantages and disadvantages to both the approaches, right? A founder coming out of a corporate will have huge leverages, right? However, the rawness, uh, startup founded by a student would be, it can be leveraged because it's very raw in the sense that there is no psychological barrier in the head of a student founder that this needs to be said, this cannot be said, this is the right approach, this is not the right approach, right? And there are no statistics in the mind of a student founder that this cannot be done. The statistics says that this cannot be done, right? And you have high risk taking capacity, and you keep on challenging yourself that okay, I've been told that this cannot be done, but you will do it anyway. One is that you, because at that point of time, you love challenges. Your primary objective is to prove people wrong. You don't have statistics that are, fencing your thoughts. So you're just going out there saying all good things, trashy things, whatever comes to your mind, you do, you say, and there's nobody's, and because of your age, whatever you speak, the business will, or anybody elder one will understand, okay, that this is a young person, he lacks experience, probably that's why he is talking in a certain way, right? But your product otherwise is proving you that you're of an high experience. So they'll have you for your product, not because of your processes. However, I feel because the corporate people have a certain way of, work, a working style. They are a lot aware of, the repercussions something can, uh, something can have, or what risk this involves, right? So that becomes a deterrent to such people who are into corporates, right? So if I tell you that doing this, there is a chance that you will die. There's a 70% chance that you will die. Will you do it? You won't do it because you already know that 70% is a big risk. You might die. However, I don't tell you that you're going to die or there's a risk of death in this. If you like it, you will simply do it. And if you win it, I think that's what you want. That's how you become superior to others. And then also, I feel is that uh, the corporates train your mindset in such a way that you think a lot. You think a lot about what is going to happen, right? So that becomes a deterrent. Probably in business, you have to make decisions that are from your instinct. Instinctive decisions have to be there. You have to follow your gut a lot of times because then there is nobody telling you that this is right or wrong, or this will fail, or this will not fail, this will become a success, right? So you just have to trust your gut feelings over the numbers or statistics that you have, or the normal mindset that you have, right? Yeah. So that would be the difference. However, the positive side of corporates is that if you, like I said earlier, that you need to have, you can be a creator and build your own business, or bring something to your own organization, to your employer, right? So you need to have some leverage over your other corporate colleagues, right? You cannot become a product of uh, the other five people in the room, right? So if that happens, if the other five people are simply coming in doing their job by the procedure, by the SOP, going back home. So that will, become a setback for your own self. You'll become comfortable over there. However, if you start challenging things in your own company, whatever you're doing, and bringing new processes, new products, or new ways of doing certain things, people will start noticing you as a leadership, and they'll start respecting you for what you do, and you'll also start building a lot of connections in corporates, right? That corporate experience, the network that corporates will give you is a big leverage for you to start up later on, right? So the challenge to start up from college is that you don't have this network. You don't know the right people who would fund you. You don't know the right talent that will take your product ahead. However, since you worked in the corporate, you know what works, what doesn't work to a certain level, and who can take it further. So that networking effect in corporates is pretty huge. It's a good leverage, I feel.
Perfect. So you've been in college for 3 years, I think so. Three, or you drop out last year, I think, right?
I dropped out, and yes, I dropped out in somewhere between second and third year. But then also I switched to other other course,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't really be a dropout.
Yeah.
That's not basically on paper you become a person who has done studied till only 12th, right? So that's not a good thing. You need to have a degree. You need to have an understanding. So I probably left engineering, but I took up my bachelor's degree in commerce. Right, the switch was pretty huge, because from studying mechanical engineering to going to commerce, and there's a lot of accounting, bookkeeping, and everything. It was a huge switch. But I liked it. I liked the switch because it was something new to be done, and I got it done. So yeah, still a bachelor's degree holder.
Perfect.
No, dropping out is something I don't encourage.
I'm a 12th pass man.
That's good. That's good.
I never been in college. Like I I don't like it.
That's, I mean, yeah, you need to, it's very important to know what you want to do, where you want to go, and what will take you there.
Yeah, 100%. If
So,
the college is not the thing I need to do for my goal or what I want to do, if I don't want a college degree for that, so why I go to college and waste my 4 years for a degree? That's why I don't go to college.
yeah, see, college is now just a tool to take you towards what you want. Back then, college was very important. During the generation of our parents,
Still now,
college was,
still now, like I think so.
yes.
15, 2015, 16, 17. The college is a huge role play in, because that time the tech thing is not that much huge, and
Mm.
when Geo comes and then everyone have internet and all, then the tech things I think so improve and all, and I think after that people can think about the technical business, tech businesses too much.
Correct. And you know, lot of families have progressed because their kids went to a good college, studied hard, and made a successful career. So I I mean, I'm never going to endorse dropping out, and even if you do, make sure that you are dropping out from a good college, And you cannot be dropping out from an XYZ college and then because then my college was my very good leverage, right? Both of my colleges, uh, they're very known colleges. Both the colleges are very known. Uh, it set up a very good, what we say, a good mindset and good network. So college is important. Don't skip it.
Yeah, yeah. It just you said, college is important for networks. I agree. I agree on that. But not dropping college is for, I don't know why, but for me, I don't think the college is for me. Like, I don't want to waste my 4 years for college, but as per the society and all, colleges need to do and have a degree, because we are in business, so we don't know when our business collapse, or let's put it that way. Let's say our business get down, uh,
Mm.
and we don't have anything. But if I have a degree, then I can do job for some years and then restart another business. So that I have a plus point for it.
Right. Yeah. Plus, it helps in getting married also.
Yes.
Have some degree.
भाई महीने के करोड़ आएंगे तो कौन डिग्री पूछेगा?
It depends on which family you're getting married into,
Yeah.
and also, what will you be telling your children about it? If you say if your children get to know that the father has no degree, oh, become very difficult to control. They'll be in the mindset that even without studying, you can, you know, become good at something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the studies that make you good at something. It's your curiosity.
Yeah. How did you make high stake decisions without experience or mentors?
Um, I because I did not know those decisions are high stake. So it was like any other decision. Do it and let's see what happens. Your decisions can be corrected later. So there was no fear. There's no fear in the head that okay, if I do wrong, then this might happen. You don't know about it, so that's your level.
I like it. What fear did you have to kill first? Failure, judgment, or uncertainty?
Failure, judgment, or uncertainty. I think it is uh, judgment, and so fear is something that yeah, you will always face, right? Some or the other way, the fear will always be there. But what a face it. And about judgment, uh, you have to make calculative decisions, but you don't have to worry a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one was
Uncertainty.
uncertainty. So the fear is about the uncertainty, right? So if you don't have the fear, if you're ready to face the uncertainty, then there is no blocker for you. You can simply, you know, keep on taking the decisions, keep on working, and keep on moving forward, right? And and the first 3 years in business breaks you so much, right? That you are not scared about anything at this point, right? You are ready for everything. That risk taking becomes a habit. Any crisis that comes in, you are not reacting to it. but you take it up as another challenge, right? Another problem, and you work it out. Thinking too much about anything always spoils the game, I feel.
True. How did you mentally detach from degree is equals to success conditioning?
So for degree, you need to study, right? And that thing was not happening anyway. So the thought of what would happen degree, what would happen after degree was not there anyway. And when you are doing mechanical engineering, you are aware of the stacks anyway, right? All the 60 people of your batch know what's going to happen to them in the first 2 year itself. In the first 3 semesters itself, you know that what's going to happen, right? Especially in mechanical engineering, you're pretty much aware that you are going to land this job. This is what is going to happen to you in the next 5 years. Either you crack it or uh, or probably go to a foreign institute, do an MBA, and do something on the business side, right? So the thing that people would do or mechanical engineers would do after say 5 6 years, I was able to do that during my college phase itself, right? So there was nothing to think about. I was basically, you know, skyrocketing those or bypassing those 5 6 years. That is the only difference. Everybody will take the same path ultimately. I have just cut it short. So yeah, the timeline has been cut short. That's it. So that got me detached from my degree, right? And my parents were also very supportive, right? Because my parents have multiple degrees. My family members have multiple degrees, but the notion is not the degree, but to have knowledge and experience, right? Again, degrees being the tool was always taught to me, right? We're not very sticky, very emotional about it. That helped a lot.
God.
Now, on the other hand, whatever I was doing was getting validated. I was validating everything that I was doing,
Mhm.
right? So the positive feedbacks made me take a decision that okay, this is the way to go. Let's not think about degree a lot, but
Perfect.
I have to take a degree. Either ways.
For marriage.
The for kids.
So I have one question in my mind. So when you start your company and you are growing, when you hire your first employee and how you hire you, where you find it?
Your first few employees are always going to be, not always, but ideally will be your known ones or somebody that have been referred from your network. So the thing is that when you hire from your own network, you have high trust. That person has also proven, and you have seen that person do things beyond what is mentioned in the resume, right? So early on, the trust matters a lot because you have to uh, choose your funds, choose your employees very wisely. Right? You have to put every single rupee in the right direction. Right? It has to be very calculative, and your network gives you that trust because you have seen that person uh, do things from a lot of time. So you are also aware of the mindset. right? You would want people who will stick along, who have the mindset to go through a lot of things and still stay headstrong. And yeah, I think that is what happens naturally. I mean, that will happen naturally. You know, the people that, and then probably when the revenue starts rolling in, when you have enough funds, and when you are sure that you can provide to your team members, uh, despite any condition in your business, you once you have that confidence, then you move out of your network and start the interview processes and hire people outside of your network. But I think big businesses or small businesses, everybody relies on their own network and reference, right? Any company, any time of the day, any position in the company, referrals see the highest closures, right, at any scale.
Perfect.
So you know you might, hiring, making the first hiring decision is very difficult because firstly, you are not sure about your own self. Secondly, you're not sure about the trajectory, about the revenue that you might have. And the biggest of all is that uh, it's going to be your responsibility to take care of that individual who further has other responsibilities, right? If you don't provide or take care of that person, that will further cascade into a lot of unexpected things, a lot of negative things, which ultimately, directly or indirectly, you will find yourself responsible, right? So it's easier to, have this thing with your known ones or somebody from your network rather than taking up responsibility of a very uh, a stranger or a new person completely.
Perfect. How did you identify communication as a structural business bottleneck, not a marketing flow?
So communication is not a vanity, right? This is essential in every aspect of your business, in every process of your business. Wherever there are going to be humans, there has to be communication, right? So, you know, WhatsApp automation or or chat automation or chatbots, it's not just about marketing. It is essentially communication, which can be marketing or it could be your internal HR processes, or it could be customer support journeys or some other self-serve use cases, right? And that has, so you are aware that your user, or if you have to talk about internal business communications, your employee needs to know about certain things, right? Or they, all of them have a behavior that can be replicated, right? So in those cases, the AI can solve those issues, right? If a set of users are coming to you for the same queries again and again, or same purpose again and again, you would want to automate that. And today that can be done at a very personal level, in a very personalized way. The kind of data we have of the person and the capability AI possesses today, right? So that solves a lot of problems for you, for all the businesses as well as the users, right? Uh, and the companies today are a lot consumer centric or employee centric, right? They are very much inclined towards transparency, simplified processes, and instant responses, and AI solves all of them. Right? Most of the problems earlier were because of the communication lacking or taking a lot of time. Right? So 76% of customers will switch to another brand even after one single bad customer support experience. 76% is a huge number, right? So you have to maintain that efficiency, that communication 24 by 7. So that is possible by automation, that is possible by AI.
Why is response time economics more powerful than branding today?
Uh, it's not powerful today. It has always been that way, right? Every consumer, every user uh, needs to be field valued, right? And needs to be felt special. That is the first, because that will bring in trust, and trust will bring in money, right? So that relationship has always mattered. It's just that earlier it was all about brand visibility because of the tools we had back then, right? You must have observed in back in before 10 years ago, or traditionally, there have been small businesses where you go and pick up the product. You are not looking at the brand, you are just looking at the service you get, right? In India, there are so many generic products, so many general stores who sell their own products. You simply go there to buy because you trust that person, you trust the relation that you have. You like how that small general store goes out of the way to deliver it to your house, right?
Mhm.
You like their product because you are aware of the process it goes through, because that particular person has told you that this is the process of creating this product. However, when we talk about the bigger brands, you are simply not aware of what process is followed, right? So you are basically purchasing it because others are purchasing it, because yeah, of course you love the product, but then when you are also told about the emotional side of it or the story side of it, you will you will naturally levitate towards those products, that you are aware of what's happening, the journey of the product, who is making it, how it's prepared. So brand, so it's more about the service, it's more about how instantly you are being served, how special you have felt during the process of making a decision to making the decision to buy it, to purchase it. And also, it's not just limited till there today, it's also about the after service that you have, right? And the availability is the most important thing. If I need something, I want it now. So that I'm sorry. So that is very important. Availability is important. Accessibility is important. You might be a very big brand, but if you are not accessible to me, uh, you don't matter to me.
Perfect. How do you quantify revenue loss due to a bad communication system?
So the quantifying bad communication leads to revenue loss is that it's statistics. The study says that a lot of reports that say that almost 73 to 76% customers simply switch to a competitor if they have one single bad experience. That person could be your customer from years, but one single bad communication, and the person will simply switch, right? You cannot afford that. You Once you break the trust, more than positive word of mouth, it's always the negative word of mouth. So you don't want to risk that, right? And one more stats is that 56% of the customers will make a switch without giving you feedback. They will just quietly move away. So this is a huge revenue loss. It is 3.1 trillion dollars revenue is at risk because of bad communication, which is huge. So you want to, you know, plug those holes, make your communication seamless. Your, reaching out to a business should not be very difficult for a user. You have to be there. If there are users expecting you to be on multiple platforms, 24/7 available, you have to do it because it's not a novelty anymore, it's a need, or they'll simply go to other business.
Perfect. Why did you choose omni-channel over single platform dominance?
Um, See, a user will not contact you in on one particular platform, right? A business is present on multiple platform. They have to be there. They have to be there where the users are, right? And most of the businesses, the users are on multiple channels. So you have to make a omni-channel approach strategy so that wherever you are reached out to, you should be able to cater to the audience at any point of time on any channel. And you also, on the other hand, don't want to be dependent on one single channel. There's a huge risk if that channel goes down, then it doesn't make sense for the business to have their all the resources put into one channel, and as a platform also, it doesn't make any sense for me to build a business around one single channel. Omni-channel is the way to go, wherein you have control over all the channels, all of your users you are able to cater to, and it's also interoperable, right? You have one single AI taking care of different queries across multiple channels, so you don't have to worry about redirecting a particular user from one place to another. The maximum drop off happens when you ask a user to go from point A to point B, right? As a user, it shouldn't be my job to follow certain instructions that are of no use to me, right? Uh, if I'm not using WhatsApp, I should have another channel to get in touch with you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There should be multiple touch points available. Every channel has its own objective. It serves its own purpose, and you have to be there.
How did you design 10 minutes development as a strategic mode?
I have always been of the thought that whatever we build, however advanced it gets, it should be easy for the business and any department of business, any person of the business to access it. Right? It should not have a very huge turnaround time. It has to be simple, drag and drop, easy to understand, self-serve, and this is how we have made our system, that it becomes very self-explanatory for the business to use it. Right? We don't want to make it a lot technical. It's it's difficult for the user, and it's also difficult for me that if it is not self-serve, I have to attend, or my team members have to attend every call to set that up, right? So we have designed it in that way. The things happen in an instant, right? If deliveries can happen in 10 minutes, I think softwares should be able to take it that way.
Perfect. What trade-offs did you make between customization and skill?
Uh, it's usually the UI that we have to. It's mostly the UI that we have to, sacrifice to have a scalable, good infrastructure, right? You don't want to have a lot of rendering happening, lot of heavy uh, UI that's taking a lot of time. You want to keep it very lightweight, and especially in case of enterprises and B2B softwares, you will see that they are not very fancy. And the UI at the scale has to be such that it stays in your memory. It should become your muscle memory. So, those kind of feedbacks when it is more on the aesthetic side of it, or just just some bells and whistles, those are the things that we sacrifice to have a more scalable structure, where we prioritize efficiency over colors. But how I said that we are also, in process of improving our UI, making it more beautiful.
Perfect. Why conversational AI is a system problem, not just a model problem?
Um, so we have so far processed over 1 billion conversations, and it's never the AI that has failed, but it's usually the other components of it, which the system problems that trouble us, right? So the more underlying models work, and they always work. However, when we talk about AI communications related to business, it is not just the AI that is speaking something, right? It is not a generalized AI. It has to perform certain actions. It has to give certain result to the user, right? So beyond model, it is also about the systems that are involved, right? So for example, the things that haven't failed is the model that we are using. But the systems that can go crazy or that can break is the integrations that's happening, right? On the front, you have the channel, for example, WhatsApp, right? So if WhatsApp goes down, the accessibility of the user goes down, right? If there is any outage on WhatsApp. Now, that WhatsApp has to be connected to our platform, right? So that connection has to be very secure and it has to have a stable connection, right? The uptime should be great. Now, this depends on our system as well as WhatsApp API availability, right? Then you have the integrations with the backend servers of the business, right? For example, going to the bank business, that when I say that I want to block my credit card, right? So the system fetches the number of the user, checks with the backend system that who this person is and what is the information or KYC information of that person linked to that mobile number. Right, that information is fetched. So that happens through an API connection. That has to be stable. So, and in case if that fails, then you need to have a fallback flow, right? A fallback message that if certain thing fails, then you cannot tell the user that we are failing at our end or something is going wrong. It has to be automatic, or there has to be a way to tell the user that something is not happening, right? So it's an orchestration of a lot of things coming together, right? So that's why we say that it can be a system problem and less of a model problem, right? So so for example, if ChatGPT is a brain, then What businesses need is a full body, correct? And that is what we have as integration. So let's say that the model does only the 20% of the work. However, all other processes, all the 80% are taken care by the platform itself.
Perfect. Rule based versus AI versus hybrid. What scale based long term?
So the approach that we recommend to our users is the hybrid approach, where you have, the rule based automations going on, which is logic based basically, and as well as the AI based, right? So as when we talk about AI automation, the user can ask a lot of queries, and the automation can respond to it, right? But uh, for this to happen, the data has to be shared with the underlying model that we are using. Okay, and then there comes compliance, right? So we have to take care of the compliance as well, wherein when it is some sensitive or very important use case that the user has triggered, uh, the automation shifts uh, to the rule based side, and the data in this rule based flows is happening within our own system, which is very secured. The data is localized and very compliant. So yeah, hybrid is way to go, I feel.
Perfect. Where are the biggest revenue leaks in manual communication system?
Yeah, so yeah, this is exactly why relations AI exists. There's so many leakages in manual communication, and so which leads to a lot of revenue loss. Uh, One is that the response time of a human versus AI is huge, right? Where a human might take a lot of time to analyze, decide, and actually attend to the customer. During that time, the customer has already moved on, right? And you know there is the context is very important, right? And as a human managing, if an human agent is managing so many users every day, you tend to lose context of a particular customer. Now, on one hand, you have a customer who wants to be felt special, and on the other hand, there is an agent who is limited in the capacity, in time, in resources. So he's not able to cater. He or she is not able to cater to the expectations of the user, right? So there becomes an inconsistency in the messaging, and because of the lack of context. So AI instantly has context. It remembers what you said 2 weeks ago, 1 year ago, and so on. Right. So context is very important, which the AI has, while a human might miss it. So these are the two massive, upsides of AI communication as compared to the manual communication.
Perfect. What did Fox teach you about platform dependency risk?
That's a very good question. I think that was one of the biggest learning for me, is not to build a product around one particular channel, right? And I mean, if you have a business that depends onto something for its entirety, I think if that dependency goes away, right? If tomorrow Twitter shuts down, my business that I have built around it will also shut down, right? It will kill my business. That is what happened with TweetFox, right? One of the reasons is, firstly, TweetFox was Twitter. Firstly, Twitter was acquired by Elon Musk, which later became XAI. Correct. And so we were now the in when you talk about TweetFox, the word tweet is a trademark of Twitter. Yeah, that was the first mistake. So when Elon Musk took over XAI or Twitter, uh, they sent us a notice that it is trademark infringement. We cannot use the word tweet in our brand name. And the second was that after the Elon Musk takeover, the price of API, the Twitter API, was very unaffordable. That only a few enterprises were able to afford those API pricing. It went from zero to half a million, which was huge. So for us, that was unsustainable. So Twitter went down, and along with it, we also went down. And also the brand name was such that we couldn't, you know, add another channel into it. Right? TweetFox was for Twitter.
Yeah,
I cannot add something else to it. I cannot add Instagram automation to it. Doesn't make sense. So that was also not possible. So you cannot have brand name and the whole business around one particular dependency or channel.
got it. Will chat replace apps?
Um, I feel chat apps the usage of apps will decrease. It is decreasing, but it won't completely replace. Right? If you look at our usage pattern, we the most time we spend is on WhatsApp, right? And the capability is such that you can do almost everything on WhatsApp. That is one app that you download the first when you have got a new phone, or when you wake up. That is the first app you open up. And because of the shrinking storage size of phones, it is also becoming difficult for a person to have multiple apps, right? Uh, so that's why users prefer that the services are provided on channels where they are already there, right? If I ask you to, if say that you have five uh, clothing brand that you would like, so you wouldn't prefer to have five different apps of those clothing brands, right?
I can go on
So
Chrome
that
and
is,
go on
yeah, you can
any
simply
website.
come to, yeah, you already have WhatsApp. Those brands are present on WhatsApp. You simply text them, and most of the things that happen on apps can be replicated into your you know chat apps or chat channels, right? Apps today serve a very different purpose, right? Very complex things, uh, or things that require a good amount of compliances or strict compliances. Apps are today, solving that problem. But yeah, almost 80% of the purpose of the apps can be solved by having a chat automation on, whatever channels you have.
Perfect. How should education system adapt to AI reality?
Um, so ideally, the education system should cater to what's happening today, what students need to learn in order to become something tomorrow. However, what we are seeing, or traditionally it's happening, that they are just training, people for I don't know what, some 90s era. You are given some facts, given some textbooks. You have to memorize those facts and then pass the exams. right? But again, the thing is that the education has to change. It has to adapt because the applications of education has changed. So the way you learn has also needs to be changed, right? So I feel at this point that how to use AI itself is a big topic that can be introduced. It can be introduced in your curriculum, that how effectively whatever task you want to do can be done with the help of AI. So yeah, so that has to be happen with a lot of practical applications, internship kind of curriculum should be introduced. Where the students can learn uh, in real market situations, in real life, get experience, and then that can be applied. Right? It cannot be. You cannot learn. Your learning is very limited when you are you know eh, inside the four walls and there is a teacher teaching. But things change rapidly when you are outside those four walls of the classroom. A lot of people, a lot of things happening, a lot of learning and unlearning happening. Right. So that kind of exposure should be given to the students during the curriculum itself, through internship, apprenticeship, and that will prepare them for their career path. It will basically be a launch pad for a better career. And what lot of a lot of subjects, a lot of topics in curriculum is centered around facts, figures, logics, right? So the first thing that we saw AI took away is coding, right? Something that you learn for a long period of time, and that is what AI took away, right? But what it is still not able to take away is the creative side of it. So I think schools can introduce creative, something creative, right? Some music, some art side, but that can also be focused on, because that is one thing that is still untouched by the AI, and it will, I think, remain like that for a very long period of time. Right? Emotional intelligence, and creativity will remain untouched for a good amount of time. That needs to be leveraged and taught and encouraged. You know. And one more thing is that everybody needs to accept that degree is dying. The parents, the students, the educational institute, right? So uh, it doesn't mean that educational institute need to collapse, but they need to reinvent themselves, right? They need to understand that companies no more care about degrees. Everywhere, the person that is being cared for, or is considered employable, is somebody who builds something, right? Who creates something. So the shift should be from not just the GPAs, but how good you are at building something, or how resourceful you are about something, right? So that part is missing, which can be introduced, right? So we cannot continue to prepare students for a world that no longer exists, right? It has changed a lot. You know, so yeah, these changes I feel should be introduced.
Perfect. What should young people learn that schools won't teach?
So Going back to what I mentioned earlier is, you know, the students create a project, they write it down, they have a very good business plan. But one thing they lack is they don't go out and, approach the business, right? Why? Because they're scared, and also they don't have the sales knowledge, right? How to sell something is very important, right? A company floats because they have strong sales capabilities. So I think how to sell something should be taught in schools, you know, or if it is not taught, it's very important that students learn that one thing. Yeah.
Perfect, man. Now we are in rapid fire. So, first is my favorite question. What is the
Mm.
most amount of money you made in a single year?
Um, Depends on what you count as
Revenue.
made. So revenue has been in crores. We are a profitable company, so that runs into lakhs. And talking about my salary, as a business person, that's a very wrong question to ask. How much does a founder earn? Yeah.
Do you read books?
Yes, I prefer to get summaries of the book, but yeah, I do.
What is your favorite book?
It's it's the one by Ben Horowitz. It's the hard thing about hard things.
I had it.
I think it's a must read. It's it tells you the difficult side of everything that you go through without without the bells and the whistle. Yeah.
Perfect. What is one thing you wish you knew 10 years ago?
So yeah, so nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody is trying to figure out. No, we shouldn't get intimidated by uh, how somebody is doing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's figuring out, and you should be comfortable about what you are doing, your failures, your successes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah. And especially what I've learned is that even the elders are also figuring out, right? We initially have. I mean, yes, when we are very young, it's important that uh, we rely on to what they say, or what they know, or what they understand. But as you start growing up after a certain age, you also realize that the elders are also humans. They also face things that they haven't faced, and you know they are also figuring out. They are also trying to do things that they do. So after a point, that thought should go away, and you should also uh, either support those people or start acting like them, and not get intimidated by somebody because you feel that you are young and they are elder to you, so probably they have more experience and what they say would always be right. But that's not. That will boost up your confidence, and the young entrepreneurs will be able to stand in front of uh, more experienced.
Perfect, man. What is the one single most important skill someone should build today?
The ability to learn and unlearn, right? A lot of people speak that unlearning, you should be able to unlearn. What is unlearn? You know. So last 5 6 years, I've shown everybody that it's important to dump something that you're already aware of and adapt to the new things that are happening. Right. For example, it took so much of time to learn to code, and now it happens in a jiffy. Something that was so difficult to be done some time back, now it can be done very easily, right? So now you have to learn how to use AI to boost your productivity. You cannot be stuck with your own old SOPs or operating systems. You have to adapt. You have to learn new things, move forward.
Perfect. If you could reset your career, what you do differently?
Yeah. I would raise my prices from day one itself. I
Mm-hmm.
undervalued myself.
So, my last two questions.
Yeah.
What is the best advice you ever heard or received?
That you should be adamant about things you love.
What is the worst advice you ever heard or received?
Interesting. I think there haven't been worst advices. It has basically been a part of figuring out one advice leading to another and figuring out something else. Yeah.
Got it. So, Shreyas, questions are done. Thanks for coming on our podcast and give your valuable time. Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me here, Abhishek. It was my pleasure to share whatever little I could.
yeah. Perfect, man. See you then.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye
Thank you so
bye. Good
much.
night.
Good night.